I'm walking out along the path that I quite often walk the dog through, the fields, and after all that rain we had, which was following a very prolonged drought, we've had a kind of second spring almost. So I've got here ground elder with some really green fresh shoots. We've got nettles coming up again. We've got green young shoots of nettles coming up. Now some of them are going to seed, but we actually have some pickable, edible nettle sprouts here. We've got some young green dandelions coming up there as well. So it's interesting. It's almost like, as I say, a second spring. Very unusual. At the same time, we've got things like ripe blackberries. Quite a decent crop, really, of blackberries, considering it's been such a dry summer. Not a bad crop of blackberries this year. Okay, so we have an area here where the land was all dug up for a large drain or sewer pipe to go through. And there was bare soil here for most of the summer where we had no rain. But now we've had a little bit of rain. All of the plants have sprung up, nature's recovering the land. All these grasses are growing up and other plants. In amongst those plants we've got this. Now this is Goosefoot. Sometimes there are many varieties of Goosefoot, and I'm not even really very sure which one this is, but they are all edible. This could be Good King Henry, this could be Fat Hen, it could just be Goosefoot, common Goosefoot. They are edible and very nutritious plants. So we'll have a closer look at these today, and I think we'll pick some and take it home and eat it. The easiest way to identify these is they've got kind of glaucous bluish leaves, but when you turn them up underneath and look underneath the leaves, there's a kind of white powdery coating that's moist. It's like little crystals on the underside of the leaves. So I've got a plastic bag. I always carry plastic bags in my wallet. We've got loads of nice little fresh green plants of Goosefoot growing around this area. Eva, who's been here? Yep, that's a bunny latrine right there. So there's an awful lot of rabbit markings around here. I'm surprised Eva hasn't been chasing off after them today. Eva, what are you doing? Eating grass. So I picked myself a nice bag of Goosefoot, nice fresh green tops that are very nice and soft and supple and not woody at all. Let's head for home now and cook them up for lunch. So back here at home, let's have a look at this Goosefoot we've got. It's going to need a thorough wash because soil splash is a definite problem with this plant. It's quite a low growing plant. In fact, we can see there's a sort of slightly brownish film on the underside there, and that is just a bit of soil splash from where it's rained so hard. But it's a interesting and I think very nutritious plant. I will do a little bit of research and I'll put some text up on the screen right now about the nutrition in this plant. It's a relative of spinach, and it can be used in most of the ways that you would use spinach. And you can either use the leafy shoots like that, or actually if it's starting to go to seed, you can also use the little flower or seed heads like that. As long as it remains pliable and not too stringy in the stalk here, it will be eminently edible, and it's worth just pulling off any little leaves that have got a bit of insect damage or anything like that maybe. So we're going to give this a thorough rinse. One thing to note actually on this is this plant is very closely related to quinoa. The little seeds here are exactly analogous to the grains of quinoa. So anyway, we're going to get all of this into the colander. I'm going to give it a really thorough rinse. Now my favourite way of cooking this in the past has always been to dip it in a sort of tempura batter and fry it and make a crispy little fritter with it. I think we're going to try something a bit different today. I think we're going to try this in a pancake with some cheese and nutmeg. Okay, so we've given this a good rinse, and let's just have a quick look at the leaves here, because we've got a few varieties of different leaf forms here. We've got that one that's almost like a nettle shaped leaf, and then we've got others which are more almost heart shaped. But this plant's actually quite easy to recognise once you get familiar with it, and the confusion that might arise from all the varieties of leaf form and shape and size will just melt away. The key thing is that you'll find this plant has these funny little crystalline structures on the leaves, which when you rub them off they feel sort of gritty or sandy in your hands, but in fact they are like little crystalline sacs of clear material. I'm not entirely sure what they are. I did do some research on this on my website, so I'll put a link in the video description where we did some microscopy of the underside of these leaves, albeit on rather amateur microscope equipment. But anyway, we've got a few bits of goosefoot here that I've rinsed thoroughly, and we'll just pick off any leaves that are looking a bit sad, and we'll just prepare these, I think, and we're going to put these in a fritter sort of pancake type of thing. So I think what we'll do, we'll take the leaves and the tops like that, and I'll just get rid of that little bit of stem just because that'll take longer to cook. That is quite tender, and in fact there's no woodiness to it or stringiness to it, but I think the leaves will cook just that little bit quicker than the stems. So we'll just be a bit selective. We can afford to do that. There was a great abundance of this plant there, so we can afford to be a little bit judicious about which bits we prepare for the table. Just the tender tops and the leaves. Okay, so for our pancake batter today, we've got an egg, which I'm just going to loosely beat for now. And we're going to have about 2 tablespoons of plain flour, which we'll just mix in lightly, and then just enough milk to make it into a pourable pancake batter. That was maybe 1/4 cup of milk. And that looks absolutely perfect. It's a little bit lumpy, but don't worry, those lumps will cook out. Just need to make sure we get all the flour that's at the bottom of the cup. Yeah, that looks about the right consistency. It will pour into the pan, which is what we want because it's got to go everywhere. Now I'm going to season that batter with a good grind of black pepper and a little bit of salt. Mix that in. I'm also going to be seasoning the pancake with nutmeg, but we'll do that when it's actually cooking. Okay, so that butter is nicely foaming now, just gently in the pan, and we're going to go in with our pancake batter. And I'm going to very quickly just spread that around so that we make a nice big pancake. Now I can turn the heat up a little bit, and I am going to immediately now sprinkle those leaves into the top of the pancake there. Because I want them to cook as the pancake itself cooks. Good. I'm just going to press them gently down into the batter so that they stick. That's good. Yeah, good. Okay, that's good. That pancake is starting to cook separately from the pan. That's good, and it's starting to brown around the edges. Now I'm going to flip it over so that the vegetables actually get a little bit of a cook on their own. So this is where we go. This is where it could all go wrong. Fortunately it didn't. So I'm going to give that a good sizzle on the leafy side so that we can get those goosefoot leaves nicely cooked. Meanwhile, I've just grated up some Barber's Mature Cruncher cheddar. This is a really, really good, very mature cheddar cheese. Very crumbly and very delicious. Okay, right, let's flip that back over. That's good. The leaves are nicely just browned a little bit, and then we're going to get our cheese on there like that. and then nutmeg. Good, great, fresh nutmeg. And now, if I can just carefully get under half of it, we'll flip it over and fold it like that, so that that cheese melts into a nice gooey filling. And we'll fold again right there. That's good, I can see that cheese, look at that cheese melting through there. That's perfect. So back over here at the plate, let's just get that dished out. Don't want to miss out on that little bit of crispy cheese right there. Good stuff. Now that's really hot right now. Just going to take a little Instagram. Okay, so let's open that up and see what we've actually got inside of this pancake here. We've got a crispy toasted outside, and then on the inside we've got the lovely Goosefoot and the melted cheese in there. I guess we ought to really taste a bit. This is going to be very hot, so I'm putting my mouth at risk here. That's good. It tastes really fresh. I think the best way to describe Goosefoot is it's like all the things you like about spinach with none of the things you hate. Just really tasty, and combination of that spinach-like vegetable, nutmeg and a little bit of cheese. Just a winning combination as far as I'm concerned. So there we go, that's how to pick, cook and eat Goosefoot. I hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.